So you've got your photo warped, masked, and then you get to work with the brightness, contrast, darkness, color. So I would recommend starting and looking at your entire picture. So I'm going to zoom all the way out here on my picture. I would look at the whole strip. And I've only got 3 little pieces here, but you can still see the color differences. And I would find the middle, not the middle of your picture, the middle color. There will be a definite picture that's the brightest. There will be a definite picture that's the darkest. Don't use those. Start somewhere in the middle and then work left and right of that picture. So if that picture is right here on the 3 pictures in, it's kind of on the right side. Okay, select that picture, make the one to the right of that match, make the one to the right of that one match, then go back to your original, the one you started at, and then work your way left. You want to start with the middle color, the middle brightness, and then work out from that one. If you start from the left to right, your left picture is usually darker, lighter. It's not usually typically the middle picture. So find your middle color and work outward from there. My middle color is the center picture. This one on the right side is the lightest. This one on the left side is a little darker. So I'm going to start working my way out from the center. So the first picture I will work with then is the one to the right of that, and that is number 1. So I'm going to click on number 1, and I'm going to do a levels or a curves adjustment. So I go window. You probably don't need to do this, but I need to reset my workspace so I get my adjustments back. I've got my adjustments, and now I'm going to click on a curve. So here's my curves layer, and let's get it right in here so we can see. So this one's a little too light, so I'm going to take the line, and if I need to make it darker, I'm going to pull it down. And right now it's getting too blue. So it's gone too dark now, but it's also too blue. And so I can see that blue in there, and I can check for that blue by pulling it down a little darker than it needs to go. So I'm just looking for the brightness, and right now I think that looks pretty good for how dark it needs to be. And so then I'm going to go to the blue channel, and I'm going to give it a little more yellow. So here's the blue. So each one of these colors has 2 sides. So we got the yellow and the blue. And I want to give it just a little bit more yellow. I need to make sure the sidewalk, and so the sidewalk's getting a little messed up here. It's too yellow. I have to back off that a little bit. Hit the eyeball. Maybe a little too dark now, so I'll just go brighten that up just a little bit. And so that's probably just about exactly where I need to be. I see a little bit of brown in here on that other picture. I could try to go touch that one up, or I could try to increase my mask, spread my mask out a little bit here. So I think that's the way I would go with it. I'm going to come back in here, click on the mask. And I pretty much can't see that seam anymore. And I'm looking pretty, it's a little tiny bit of brown over here, but not much. Another really important thing that a lot of people forget to do is they forget to, so let's say they have a picture over here on this side. This curves, so if you're watching this building right here, this curves will affect everything below it. And in order to stop that, what I need to do in my curves window is lock it down to just that layer, and that tab is right here. So it's a square with the arrow and the slash. I click that, and what that's going to do is when I turn the eyeball on and off, you can see it's only affecting the layer directly below it. It's not affecting this layer anymore. And so that's an important tab. I've seen people, so they start here and they make the one to the left of it brighter, and the one to the left of that brighter to match up with, and each layer makes the picture even more bright. So if I don't check this, and then I go to this next picture, and I do my curves, and then I go to my next layer and do my curves, every time I do a curves, this one layer gets darker. And that's not good. So I want to lock each layer down with this icon. And that's going to lock it so it only affects the one layer. So you've got your RGB, that affects the brightness, dark. If not, usually you don't need contrast. That's not going to work. Usually you just need a little bit more bright or a little more dark. So this one needed to be just a little bit darker. And then if you exaggerate it, you also notice sometimes the hue is off, and hue is just a fancy word for saying color. And those are these channels underneath. So we've got the red channel. The red channel deals with red, and this is it's cyan color. Get the red and cyan. You've got the green and the magenta. And you've got the blue and the yellow. And my eyes, after playing with this long enough, I can kind of see, without exaggerating it, which color it has a little bit too much of. And so I knew right away this one's got a little more yellow, this one's got a little more blue, so I go to the blue-yellow channel, and I dial that back the blue a little bit. You know, sometimes you have to kind of play with it to see which way it needs to go in each channel. So that is color adjustment and brightness contrast for your panorama.